There is a way to actually take advantage of your screen time addiction, more specifically, your addiction to content consumption. And we're going to be talking about this idea in just a second. But first, if you don't know who I am, my name is Ray, and I've been obsessed with lifestyle optimization and self-improvement for about 3.5 years now. It's well over 3 years. I don't know if it's 3.5. I said this in the last video because I'm filming them back to back. I've got a red dot in my nostril because I cut myself whilst I was shaving. Okay, if you are somebody who prefers to fill your brain with educational and valuable content just like this, wink wink, instead of, the kind of brain rot slop content that you usually get, definitely consider subscribing, dude. I post multiple videos a week. At the minute, I'm posting 3 videos a week, all of which are aimed at giving you the best ideas to keep agency in your life, stay in control of your own life, and ultimately where you end up. I used to be very addicted to screens. In fact, content consumption on YouTube was the final and hardest vice that I had to get a hold of and choke. Because it's very true that when you're getting on to self-improvement and you're getting onto lifestyle optimization and you're trying to delete these bad habits from your life, there will be one final vice that you cling to the most. Maybe I'm slightly more fortunate than others because I've heard that for a lot of guys it's video games, it's porn, maybe even just continuing to eat junk food, eat like shit. But for me, it was YouTube, man. I struggled so badly with anxiety, the kind of overthinking that would keep me up throughout the entire night if I didn't have some kind of stimulation. Then throughout the day, I was just lazy. I would procrastinate getting work done. I would make excuses. I would cope. I was just so undisciplined. I was a lot less disciplined than I am right now. I mean, dude, I would honestly guess that at one point, I was spending like more than 7 hours a day on just YouTube, just watching YouTube videos. It was quite bad, but I can very proudly say that for a while now, specifically getting out of my previous relationship, I think that helped it a lot. I'm able to lie in bed with a little book, sort of just, kind of fall asleep that way instead of having to have the YouTube. I've also built a level of discipline that I'm very confident is better than maybe 99% of guys my age. Therefore, I'm able to fully dopamine detox whenever I think it's like necessary for my life. I'm able to get shit done every single day. I'm able to regulate my content consumption. But maybe you're not quite there yet, which is fine. You've clicked on this video clearly with the intention of taking some action and fixing it. And that's something you have to respect. So I want to talk about the main concept of taking advantage of your screen time addiction, and that is obsession building. Men who build a level of obsession towards a goal obviously outcompete men who aren't obsessed with their goal. If you and I both have a goal to reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, but I'm obsessed with this goal. I think about it every single day. I'm constantly thinking about how to get there. I even write it down and read it out loud. And you aren't obsessed with this goal. I am far more likely than you to find a way to achieve this goal. But let's take it a step further. What if you were also obsessed with the goal? So now we're both obsessed with this goal. But now I am obsessed with the work towards the goal, which is actually true in real life because the goal of getting to 1,000 subscribers, the work to get there would be creating these videos about these topics, which I absolutely adore. Being obsessed with the goal made me more likely to find a way to actually achieve it than you. But being obsessed with the work towards the goal makes finding a way feel like play. Obviously not 100% of the time because that's just unrealistic, but far more than you, and that puts me in a huge advantage. This is a phenomenon or lifestyle or whatever you want to call it that I unfortunately believe a lot of men, most men, will never experience, mainly because of all of the distraction with video games, with porn, with doom scrolling. It just constantly saps the modern man of any thirst for purpose. It's just so much easier to settle for a mediocre job and live in instant gratification, instant pleasure. But you're not like these guys I'm talking about, right? Purely because you're watching this video. So even if you are still addicted to these things, you're watching this kind of content, you're taking like a very important step to breaking these addictions. There's a way to use your screen time addiction almost as a tool towards building an obsession for specifically a goal, but also maybe even the lifestyle that would lead you to the goal. This is simply done through content optimization. Here's what I would do if I was a fat kid who wanted to get in the gym, but I also had like a screen time addiction, and that was taking up most of my energy, most of my brain points, and that was basically swallowing my days. I would tighten the scope of content consumption to maybe a couple of specific niches. Gym vlogs, maybe even from other, fat kids, and then just educational gym content, and maybe even just entertaining gym content. Broadly speaking, if my goal was to get in the gym and lose weight, I would just optimize my entire content consumption scope around that goal. So I would just watch gym content. This works because you still get to waste your time, right? Like you really desire doing. But over time, you'll also build an obsession. You'll build an obsession for this goal and this kind of culture that you're continuously watching about. And the reason why I specifically recommend lifestyle content is because that's what's going to probably build an obsession towards not just the goal, but the lifestyle that's needed to achieve the goal, that's ultimately what you want the obsession for. You don't just want to be obsessed with looking like David Lade. You want to be obsessed with going to the gym and lifting heavy and really feeling the burn and abusing caffeine, or the whole lifestyle behind it. I did this when I started my freelance brand scaling marketing agency before. I was still very addicted to screens at this point in my life. I would wake up at 3 p.m. I know it's awful, but we've all done it. We've all gone through it. I would spam watch Brez Scales vlogs. Brez is he's a 20-year-old millionaire who lives in Miami. He makes inspirational, motivational style lifestyle vlogs, just basically him cruising around in his cars and spending a bunch of money. Then I would just switch between watching his vlogs and building my agency. I'd go back and forth from the vlogs to ChatGPT to get more ideas, to my Notion to put my ideas down, to the website builder, whatever stage I was at. And I got the agency up in about a week and a half. I was outreaching to potential clients after about a week and a half. So, okay. The way to take advantage of my screen time addiction is to use it to build obsession with a specific goal, or even better, a lifestyle. And the way that I do that is through content optimization. Cool. How do I optimize content? I want to start by prefacing that this doesn't work with short form doom scrolling. It just doesn't. Your first action step would be to fully detox from TikTok, Instagram, any short form media that you currently use to scroll. You want to delete these apps for the time being. There's a few reasons for this, but one of them is because the algorithm isn't always consistent. Meaning, if you did manage to tailor your For You page or algorithm so that it just shows you gym content, or it just shows you money making content, whatever your goal is, it's still going to show you a different type of video every now and then. And if you watch that video for more than 2 seconds, which you definitely will do because you're not even slightly alert when you're scrolling, you then shift the algorithm slightly and you're going to, that bar of obsession is just going to slowly go down. Another reason is obviously the attention span. It's too addicting. Short form is too addicting. As long as you're consuming it, you won't get anything done. You will not be able to get off and act as efficiently as you would with longer form content, kind of how I did with the breast scales vlogs. I would kind of switch between watching them, and then I would switch between building my agency. You won't be able to just disconnect that easily when you're consuming short form. It's so addicting. Once you've decided that you do want this shit bad enough, you don't want to be an addicted loser anymore, spending all of your time scrolling, and you finally deleted TikTok and Instagram just for the time being, you still have your login, you still have your accounts, what you're going to do next is you're going to create a whole new YouTube account. You're going to log out of all of your others. Obviously, make sure you know the password. If you don't, just send a reset email. Then create a new account. On this new account, you're going to just search for like 1 or 2 different creators that you're going to subscribe to. I guess you could do more, but I like to keep it smaller and more conservative. Sometimes I'll even just watch one guy. Just one guy specifically, one podcast, one whatever. And that's about it. Now you only watch whatever kind of content motivates you towards the goal, and more specifically towards the lifestyle needed to achieve the goal. You don't ever watch anything else on that account, right? It's different with short form. With short form, you have no control over what video comes next. On longer form, you do. So if it recommends you different, like fucking Mr. Beast videos or whatever, don't click them, you're not allowed. And stay logged out of your other accounts. This will take some time getting used to. If you're in a really chaotic state of addiction right now, where your dopamine receptors and attention they're just fried. You scroll, you've got like 8 hours of scrolling or some shit. You're gonna find it much harder. But just remind yourself how bad you want this, how bad you want this agency over your life, this control over where you're, because every decision that you make right now is leading you somewhere. It's inevitable, right? You're constantly casting votes. Just remind yourself how bad you want control over where you end up. You'll be very grateful after just a few days of discipline when you're now able to watch longer form content. Even if it's still slop content, it's so much better than short form. Use your screen time addiction as a tool to achieve your goals, because right now you have no control over your life and where you end up if currently you are just spending X amount of hours a day scrolling on your phone. Subscribe if you find a lot of value in what I have to teach. I upload multiple times a week. Like and engage with the video in some way. Send this video to your nan so she can stop spending all day watching Only Fools and Horses and actually get onto some TJR vlogs, even though Only Fools and Horses is like a banger. Hoyle Val or some shit like that. Goodbye, basically.